Hey guys, welcome back. This is our Japan recap video. So it's just gonna be me and Lucky talking about what we liked and didn't like and kind of the experience we had, in hopes that if you guys are planning on going to Japan, hopefully we can help influence you and help find the right decision.
I think the first day was a little scary. We landed at the Narita airport and it was pretty overwhelming after getting our JR rail pass.
Yeah, we did spend a long time standing there trying to get in and get our pass and stuff. And then how was customs, Lucky?
It was different.
It's a long wait there too.
I think I remember that we had to use our fingerprints and take a picture.
Yeah, we had to get all of the stuff scanned in, and then they wanted to know where we were going to stay. So it was a little intimidating, but I think it was all right. It was fun.
Yeah, I would say when you book your hostels or make sure to find things that are close, especially if you're planning out your day, we kind of messed up a little bit and booked a little far from the city.
Yeah, our first hostel I think was on the northern point of the city, so we spent most of our first day or afternoon just getting to our hostel, and it was definitely dark by the time we got there.
Yeah, I didn't pack appropriately on the trip just because I was afraid of just my tattoos were mostly Japanese based and towards like old Japan or old Tokyo. In general, I was more afraid of that old Yakuza in a sense, so I pretty much wore long sleeves the whole time, but I would definitely dress accordingly to weather.
Yeah, did you have any issues with your tattoos in Japan?
No, I think over time I got a little bit more confident and just said, hey, it's too hot, and just kind of
yeah, it was pretty hot.
Went with the wind.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty toasty time in Tokyo, but we still had some rain, but definitely during the day it got pretty toasty. So there's something to consider as your weather while you're traveling. Sometimes what else did we not do so well, Lucky, about our suitcases?
Yeah, I think we both overpacked and had a lot of camera gear.
Yeah, I think we overpacked, and we used the incorrect suitcase type of using duffel bags instead of roller bags, which would have saved our backs. So we had some fun, I think. On our first real day there, we went to the Tokyo Imperial Palace, which was really fun. And then we went to the robot restaurant, which was pretty fun. That's
a really good experience. I mean, make sure if you're on the up front though is to make sure to pay attention, because you do have to lean back, and they definitely tell you about that.
Yeah, that was kind of wild, right? When luckily we weren't in the first row, because I think we would not have been paying attention. But there were parts where you had to duck out of the way.
It's a pretty amazing show, so yeah, ducking would be probably hard for us or our attention spans, because there's just a lot going on.
There was a lot going on.
That day we definitely went to a bar district, kind of like, it's called Golden Guy, and we met up with some great friends.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. We really enjoyed that. Golden Guy, if you don't know, is a small district with a bunch of the smallest bars you've ever seen. Most of these places had 5 to 10 seats in them, if that.
Yeah, it was, each bar is kind of small,
and they would just cram you in there. They would just cram as many people in there as they could.
We had a hard time going home, actually, so.
Yeah, you'll see it. We had to, that was one of our first times taking a taxi in Japan, because we just couldn't get home at that point on the subways. And I think the next day was pretty fun. And where we go, Ginza?
Yeah, it's a fashion district. They closed the road off that day, and that was definitely a good experience, because it was just a lot of scenery and good times to take pictures.
Yeah, it was pretty cool being able to walk down the middle of the street, and we really got to just enjoy kind of the day of just, hanging out. It was really hot that day. I don't know if anyone noticed, but in the video, one of our videos, there's my massive amount of back sweat from just how hot that day was.
I definitely was drenched as well, wearing just a button up and just with our gear and stuff. Yeah.
Black long sleeve and pants. You must have been dying. I think after that we left on the bullet train overnight down to Hiroshima.
Yeah, and just saying it again, we had more gear, so
yeah,
getting to our first hostel was a little bit difficult, but transportation was definitely easy. The next morning we went to
the Peace Park.
Yeah,
I went to the Peace Park. That was really pretty humbling just to be there. I think, if I remember correctly, there was a bunch of school children there at the Peace Bell when we showed up, and it And it was pretty cool to be there and just like the somberness of it all and this observation building.
Yeah, it's pretty much the last building or one of the buildings that stood during during World War II. It's definitely emotional, so it's definitely a go-to spot just to learn about what happened.
It was pretty humbling to be there. What do we do after that?
We took, I believe, either a bus or a train to Miyajima.
That's right.
So that's definitely a cool spot if you have time. We didn't have much time because we went throughout the evening or afternoon, but I would definitely spend a day there for sure.
Yeah, I think that was one of our regrets doing this, is that we just didn't have enough time at Miyajima, and it was really one of those kind of hidden gems that we knew we kind of wanted to do just because of the big torii gate, and we'd seen that, and we were like, well, that'd be a really cool picture to take, and we're gonna be right there. But it really, the whole island was incredible, and I know personally, and I think I speak for Lucky as well, and we really we regret not being able to spend more time there.
Yeah.
See more.
Cool facts too, like you definitely see live animals or mainly deer walking around. I would try not to feed them because we don't know if they're aggressive or not. Oh, actually,
they were kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
When you watch the video, there's one that kind of charges me a little bit.
There is a hike that you can go. We didn't get to finish it, but when we saw the shrine towards the end, it was low tide. So especially when it's low tide, photography for sure is something I recommend.
We seriously lucked out that we were able to get there at low tide and go out and walk out to the torii gate. But yeah, that hike you're talking about, that's one of those things where we didn't quite have the right equipment for the job, and we weren't able to hike the mountain, but we did at least take the sky tram up, and we were able to get pretty close to the top and see some stuff up there.
Just a warning, you guys, make sure to travel light. We had too much gear. I think if Kevin and I just had just our cameras, we would be totally fine.
Oh yeah, definitely. It would have been a lot easier with
for
just
sure.
a little bit of stuff.
And then the next day, I think we went to Kyoto.
I think we ended up in Osaka.
Oh yeah.
First.
Okay. So we did take the bullet train to Osaka. Good reminder, just to bring it back up, is make sure to bring your JR rail pass or just look some research with it. It definitely helps for the bullet train.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, we used that pass. I mean, it got us from Narita into Tokyo, and then from Tokyo to Hiroshima, and then even on to Miyajima. That was all paid for by that JR pass, and that was amazing that we were able to just do all these things and not worry about having to pay to get there.
Once we got to Osaka, it was a random hostel I chose. It was kind of like a punk theme kind of hostel, but that district is very dangerous.
Yeah, we did end up staying in like one of the most dangerous areas of Osaka, if not most of Japan. But even as tourists, we didn't really have any issues. We didn't see anything sketchy or anything. So that, I mean, it's something to do your research on, I guess. In the future, we would be a little more cautious of where we're looking to stay.
And then I think we went to Downtown-bori the next day.
Yeah, we did. That was really fun. Another big shopping district, and
that's pretty cool too. That's where we first discovered all you can eat
barbecue, Japanese barbecue.
Food.
What man, I'm surprised we lost any weight in Japan after eating all that barbecue.
I think after our 5th plate or 4th plate, the waiter was pretty astonished.
Yeah, they were just kept bringing us food, and they were really astonished that we would just keep eating, and they set us a time limit. We're like, oh, don't worry, we'll be done eating well before that time limit's up.
It's worth it. It's about $50 or in yen if you convert it.
Yeah.
Us, we're talking about US dollar, but it's all you can eat, all you can drink. It's definitely a great experience. Make sure to probably walk.
Yeah, you gotta walk it out after eating that. Lucky, I kind of took an iconic photo of you while we're in Downtown-bori. Tell me about the was it Glico Man?
It's the Glyco Man. Right. It's pretty much sort of that big billboard with the running man. It's the chocolate, correct?
I believe it is a chocolate. Yeah, I think you're correct. And well, there's this bridge there in Downtown-bori where there's a billboard with him over kind of nearby, and just every person walking by stops and poses in that same pose to take a picture.
If you see the video, I do have Asian glow for sure, so I was a little buzzed.
Yeah, he was a little buzz.
And then we did, after that, we kind of walked around downtown Bori, and then we kind of cut through a little bit the corners and got through some shrines. We definitely messed up, but what's the thing we messed up on that shrine, Kev?
Oh, we didn't walk around the front. I forget which shrine it was. I think it's a big either dragon head or something at the front of the shrine. It's in one of our videos of Osaka, and we did not walk around the front to see it. We just thought we found this coolest shrine, and it was completely deserted. I'm pretty sure it's because everyone was at the front really having a good time with the really cool shrine on the other side.
Yeah, we also learned how to bow properly for certain temples, so that's a cool experience. There's some direction really cool on it, and then you throw some form of
offering. And yeah, it was pretty cool to learn just a little bit more about like the religions that are in Japan. I know for us, like, we were just expecting to have a good time, but we learned a lot, and it was really cool to take in that heritage and that culture and just really learn, just more than just being tourists, but to really just kind of take it all in and be a part of it. And then after that, we went to Osaka Castle, which was really cool. I enjoyed it. At this point, I think we were several days of walking in.
Yeah.
If you know me and Lucky, when we travel, we don't usually take trains or anything. I think in Osaka, we literally just walked everywhere. We would go, oh, that's only like a mile away. Let's just start walking and we'll get there.
We had a pair of New Balances. Probably don't recommend. They're good walking shoes, but over time, just with miles, I would get a pair of running shoes.
They did not hold up in any way. They were completely obliterated after that.
But referencing the castle, there's a lot of history into it. There's definitely some cool moments where you can definitely take great shots, and then you can walk up inside the castle and learn about the history of the castle itself.
Yeah, there was a lot of really cool artifacts and stuff, and it was a really good time. I don't think we spent enough time. We kind of got there right before it was closing.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of historical stuff in there to see, and diagrams, and they talked about major battles, and there was a lot of cool stuff. And I think we because of time restrictions, we just really didn't get to experience it as much as maybe we would have liked to.
Yeah, definitely good views around there though.
Oh, amazing views.
Towards the end of the night, we pretty much went to this little area before our hostel. It's kind of like an open area with like food and just a little mini shopping centers, but that was a good experience.
Yeah, I think we found this walking back to our hostel from the Osaka Castle. As it was getting dark, we noticed that there was a bunch of lights, and we kind of cut through this park and found that it was like a bunch of restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had our first experience with
pizza.
Americanized or Japanese, I'm not even sure how you would say that, but Western food prepared in Japan. Lucky, do you remember that pizza?
It was flat and
it was very flat.
Yeah, and not that great for me.
It wasn't a very American pizza. It was good. I liked it. It was definitely different from what you would get back home. It's more of a flatbread with,
I would say, less cheese in a sense.
Yeah, there's a lot less cheese.
But yeah, we ended up walking back to our hostel, and then the area we went had little shopping districts, and we pretty much hung out and play arcade. I think Kevin and I found a specific little machine that gave us a special surprise.
Yeah. If you don't know, in Japan it's like the capital, the mecca of vending machines and just like coin operated little dispenser things. And I just thought it was so funny that we would just me and Lucky are idiots when we travel. We found 18 plus, we'll say, dispensers, and we're like, and you couldn't see what it is, and there's no English on it, and me and Lucky don't read Japanese.
We just shoot from the hip, pretty much.
We really just shot from the hip, and they were women's underwear that were dispensed. I think it cost us just like maybe like $2 or something, but it was worth the laugh. It is in one of our videos. Speaking of wandering, Lucky, where did we end up before the robot restaurant? Do you remember? when we were walking around.
Oh, we went to an adult video store.
Yeah, me and Lucky just wandered into adult video store on accident. They're all over the place, especially around that area. But we can't read kanji in any way.
You'll notice, I wish we had the video where we was able to kind of record, but I like to wander off when I travel, so sometimes I do get lost and lose Kevin. But part of the adult store, there's a certain upstairs, and Kevin kept telling me don't go up there. I was like, why?
Well, they had it was rooms for rent by the hour. I guess I'll just leave it there for your imagination to fill in the gaps, and you could rent DVDs and a room for the hour or so. But back to Osaka, we ended up, I think the next day.
It rained a little bit. It was kind of rainy and hot.
Yeah, it was very humid. It was very rainy. And we ended up at this really cool temple.
Yeah, I think it was dedicated towards cats. It was definitely a cat shrine or a fox shrine.
I think it was the fox shrine, yeah. And it was really cool. They had a really cool bridge, and it was a huge complex. I think we must have wandered for a couple hours.
Yeah. Just letting you guys know, once you land in Tokyo, we did speak that it is overwhelming to travel inside Tokyo, but once you start going to different cities, you realize it's a little bit smaller, so utilize transportation. It's a lot easier. We use Google Maps a lot. That helped us a lot, and Kevin rented us pocket Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, that was a lifesaver. And it was just a little 4G LTE mobile hotspot, and it gave us unlimited data. And so we ended up with just this little Wi-Fi box, and it worked really great.
And then we ended up arriving after that to one of the sky towers.
Yeah, we ended up, this was still in Osaka. We went Umeda, the Umeda building. It was really cool, and it was, I think that was some of our best photos we took from the whole trip. Was just overlooking from the Umeda building over parts of Osaka.
You definitely see how tiny you are the higher and higher you go, but it's definitely a great experience. I think we should have done more sky towers, just to see the view.
My favorite shots and photos that I took from the whole trip were always from some sort of high tower or sky building, and I just think that Umeda, we were so lucky because it was kind of overcast a little bit, and we had some real dramatic skies.
If you have time, I learned how to do a lot of time lapses. Doing a time lapse is wonderful, just seeing clouds move and just the city moving, even if it's a small like micro dot in a sense, but it's such a great experience doing that.
It was really fun, and then I did some panoramas from the top, and it just really, like between those two, you just really get like a sense of scale when you're up in these buildings. Lucky, do you remember where we went next after that? We left the following morning.
We went to Nara Park.
Yeah, we went to Nara. We went to Nara Park, and to see the deer, of course. You know, Nara is famous for their, I hesitate to say domesticated because they really aren't, but they're semi-domesticated deer. You can buy little cookies for them and feed them.
They end up bowing to you, which is kind of adorable.
Yeah, they do bow to you. If I remember correctly, they used to be like sacred before World War II, which is kind of cool. And they're just all over the place. They're all over the sidewalks. Unfortunately, we really didn't explore Nara too much.
Yeah, we breezed through it, but I would spend kind of a little bit more time there. Definitely good sceneries for obviously more temples. As we're going to speak, we've definitely saw a lot of temples and shrines. And then we went to this amazing restaurant. I wish we could explain where it was, but they thought we were famous at one point.
Yeah, they did. They thought we were famous because they saw us coming in with these big cameras, and we were just so hungry while we were walking, and we just stumbled upon this little restaurant.
This lady grabbed my plate because I didn't know what to do with the eggs, so that was a good learning experience. But the famous part, there's this little plastic thing that has an Instagram or a handle for their restaurant,
like a hashtag, and they kept pointing at it, and we were like, okay, yeah, we'll post something. Yeah, well, don't worry, we'll follow. And they kept coming over, and it was It was pretty cool. It was really, they really thought we were some sort of influencer, and it was pretty cool to kind of be treated that way. But yeah.
Where did we go after the next day or that day, Kev?
So yeah, we left Nara pretty quick. I think it was just basically after lunch, and I'm pretty sure we landed in Kyoto, so we took the bullet train again. And that was a good time. I don't know about you, Lucky, but I think Kyoto was my favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of old and new Japan. For us, walking was so easy. Everything was so close. For us, we kind of overestimated like where we would go. We thought we could see everything in pretty much one day, but you definitely need to take some time on it.
Yeah, we really kind of planned everything, at least in terms of like what we wanted to see, and we tried to hit as much as we could. But I definitely know as we were going, we were changing those plans. We were removing items if we didn't think they were as going to be as amazing as we were hoping for. And one of those, like, I really truly feel that like Kyoto is really one of the gems, and I'm really glad we stopped there.
I do recommend is stay at this place called Millennials.
Oh yeah, that was a great hostel.
Yeah, it's such a great experience. Very high tech. The lounge is amazing. The beds are just phenomenal.
We spent, I don't know, at this point we had been walking for like a week straight, and we've been staying in hostel beds, and we hit Kyoto and they had queen beds, maybe king beds.
Yeah.
And they were reclining, and they were it was a private room, which we hadn't had the whole trip, which obviously from a hostel, but they were private rooms. My favorite is they had a bathtub.
Oh,
and
my
I could
God.
soak my legs in hot water.
This man is like 6'1" and he's tall.
And I fit in that bathtub.
Yeah. But going back to our trip, the next day we kind of went to some more shrines. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, we were staying in the heart of Kyoto, and we thought it was a good idea to walk to Fushimi Inari. If you don't know what that is, Fushimi Inari is the really famous temple with like 1,000 red gates. What we didn't realize is just how far out of town it is.
Yeah. I would say probably if we ever go back is probably going in the morning. We kind of went around like 8 or 9. It does get really busy. But the higher you go, it is kind of like a hike in a sense, and you definitely see beautiful gates. Pictures are great, but it does get quieter when you get higher and higher up towards their shrines.
Yeah, it is on the side of a pretty big mountain, so most people stay within the first few, we'll call them levels, and then as you get farther and farther up, it really the crowds drop off. There gets less and less people, and we were really rewarded with some really great views of Kyoto, which was pretty amazing. But this day I think this was my favorite place that we went. It was just so amazing.
We definitely went after that. We went to the bamboo forest. That was amazing, but keep in mind, I'm always going to say go early for any type of travel. Yeah. Trust your bodies when you're traveling too. I think Kevin and I just started to get defeated.
Yeah.
We've just, like he said, we walked so much. But that experience is I was taking photos and this man snatched my camera. Nice old man, nice Japanese old man. But he snatched my camera and took a photo of me and Kevin. Probably an awkward photo, but it was hilarious. He did it to like multiple people with cameras.
Yeah, he did just come up and he pretty much pried the camera out of your hand.
Yeah.
And I own the cameras, and I was freaking out. I'm like, Lucky just gave my camera to this old Japanese dude, and he's just gonna take our cameras and run. And then he's like, no, get in.
He's like, shoot, go next to your friend.
Yeah,
so.
he's shooing Lucky away. I was like, oh my God, this guy is he's stolen my camera, and he's gonna trick me and Lucky into taking a picture, and he's gonna run off with it. And we've been walking for over a week now, and our legs are completely shot. And there is no way that I'm going to be able to run this guy down.
We did forget but the next day before we hit the temples, or I think the third day we went to another shrine.
I think we always went to some shrines, but I think we started at like the Kyoto Imperial Palace, which was really fun. And we had a lot of fun. I mean, we just always had fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a great learning experience, and it's just peaceful. Once you go to Japan itself, it's just quiet. Like,
everyone's so quiet, so respectful.
Yeah, even the train rides trips you out. It definitely gets too quiet, and people are just very respectful out there. I mean, we can even go from when we started traveling, we got lost, and this Japanese girl just helped us get through everything.
Yeah, I don't think we would have made it to the hostel on the first night if that nice Japanese woman hadn't come over and helped us figure out how we had to get there. And then I think it was the next day we went on the Philosopher's Path, which took us through a lot of shrines and temples through Kyoto.
There's a video of me pretty much walking in the feet because I tapped out.
I think this was when you hurt your leg pretty bad and you were limping.
Yeah, we got to the point where once we got to Kyoto, we just started walking. We barely took transportation. Transportation wasn't too bad. Because walking was just a lot closer to where we needed to be, but my feet just
you were dying.
Yeah, it was rippled. Like I couldn't even just walk. There is a funny video. Kevin embarrassingly recorded me.
I did put up a video, and I'll put it on screen here, of Lucky limping down this poor hill. Don't worry, karma struck me the following day.
So it's pretty much our last day at Kyoto.
And we were really trying to make the most of it. So we packed a lot in that.
Yeah, also cool thing about millennials, they let us keep our bags until we were finished, I think at a certain time, and then from there we just got our camera gear and our backpacks, and
so we were really light on that day. Even though we were leaving, they let us store our bags.
So we went to this monkey park. I think Kevin, once we got down, Kevin rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
The monkey park is an awesome place.
Oh, totally worth it. It was incredible. They have all these snow monkeys running around, and they have a little hut, and you can go in and you can feed them through like some bars. So it's kind of safe for you feeding them. You don't want to feed them outside of that.
Right. You do also get a view of Kyoto itself, so it's definitely a good outskirt, just to see good views, good pictures. The monkeys are active, obviously, because they're
wild animals.
Yeah,
these are wild animals.
You will get some warnings or some signs about like getting close with them, making eye contact, all that stuff. So just be careful.
Yeah.
They can get a little intimidated.
And you can see them. They kind of run around, and they can, for the most part, they won't bother you. But they were like, don't bend down, don't put anything down or put anything low, because they will grab it.
Yeah. And then we went to
and that is I rolled my ankle climbing down. Oh, we didn't tell you, this is on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
And I rolled my ankle about halfway down the mountain and limped my way to the very bottom. Lucky, do you remember what happened next when we were walking through the town near here? It was when I rolled my ankle, the same ankle, off a curb.
Yeah.
Immediately after that.
Then his foot was swollen, or his ankle was purely swollen.
I begged Lucky just to kill me there. Just put me out of my misery. I wasn't going to make it.
Ended up getting like a leg brace or something.
Yeah, we looked all over the place for an ankle brace so I could just stop rolling my ankle.
Yeah, and then we ended up at the Golden Castle.
Yeah.
That's a cool experience too.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's busy obviously because it's a tourist attraction, but it was a great experience seeing a full gold castle.
Yeah, it was amazing. Again, I think of some of my favorite photos from the trip. And then after that, we went back to Tokyo. We got a train that day, and we headed back to Tokyo for our last hoorah of a couple things before we headed home. Then we went to, what is it, Yamata?
Yeah, it's a cemetery, so
it's one of the largest, I think, in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely bittersweet in the sense it's a beautiful place, but obviously it's a cemetery, it's sad, but it's pretty cool to walk through. It's very Buddhist influence. If there was some Buddhist shrines we saw that day, but it was nice and peaceful that day. It rained a little bit, but not too bad.
But it wasn't bad. It was fun. It was very picturesque. and it was very somber just walking through. But
Yeah, and then we went towards this wonderful temple. I don't know the name of it, but definitely a great experience. Do you know the name, Kev?
I don't know the name. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It's a very famous temple. We should have some video up on screen here, and it's the one with the big bells. And
Yeah.
It has a huge gate. It's very touristy. Once again, we did not go early enough.
Yeah, we got matching like Buddhist like beads, and they gave us a little prayer, or just a little.
Yeah, we got a little like a prayer stick. They, if you don't know, it's like a wooden box, and you can shake out, and it's like a fortune or a prayer, and it's supposed to bring you good luck. I don't remember what mine said. I should have written it down.
Yeah.
But then right outside, there's this huge market.
I think that day we went to the Tokyo Sky Tower, or
The Sky Tree, yeah. Once
that-
again, we walked to the Sky Tree.
Yeah, not too far from
Not
the
too
temple.
far.
It's about like 15-20 minutes, but
Yeah.
probably besides Osaka, this was probably the best view. You got up to like 400 or 500 feet up in
You were so high up.
yeah.
And it's right there at the mall, like one of the biggest malls they have in Tokyo. And there's this huge tower, and it was amazing. Like, you could see for miles and miles, and it really gives you a sense of scale for just how large Tokyo is.
Yeah, you definitely see how
'Cause you're-
the view itself, it's just so small.
I think you're like, I don't even know. I don't even remember how high you are, but you can just see into the distance, and you just keep seeing city. Like, it never ends. It's like a never-ending sea of just buildings and towers, and it's pretty cool. It was
You do have to pay though
Yeah,
to
this
get
one's a pay
higher.
one.
Yeah.
we paid a little bit extra, and they let you go even higher, which was I think was worth it if you're really into taking photos and time lapses. I took some more panoramas and stuff, and really some of my favorite photos from the trip came from the Sky Tree as well. And then that night we went to what was it, Shibuya?
Yeah.
No, Akihabara.
Yeah, that's like anime districts for all you animator lovers. It's pretty cool, little stores. Lighting towards the night is beautiful. So if you want that cinematic like photography,
It's like literally the city of lights, I think is what the name roughly translates to. And then we got up bright and early because we were getting better at this, and we went to Diver City.
yeah, Diver City is amazing. We went to the pretty much the Gundam Shrine.
Yeah, they have a giant Gundam statue, and he transforms. He goes. If you don't know, me and Lucky are pretty big Gundam nerds. It's been a while since I watched the show, but as we sit here recording this, I have probably almost 10 Gundams that I've built over the last couple years.
Yeah, once you get to the pretty much that big shrine itself, there's a mall. And it's a dedicated kind of like a Gundam museum in a sense, with figurines and,
Oh, yeah, the
and
Gundam
builds.
base.
The builds are amazing. Definitely get it when you're in Japan and utilize it, just because the builds, the master grades are very cheaper instead of ordering it online itself.
Yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, they're a lot cheaper, and there's a lot of them that you can only get there. I know that we both got some that were exclusive to that store, which was really cool, and we got to bring them home. And
I would probably plan this trip towards the end of your trip, because it's towards the end of, in a sense, of Tokyo. It's pretty far out there.
it's very far out there. And it was nice because at this point we were staying in our last hostel, so we started buying souvenirs at this point,
Right.
and we just put them in a big suitcase to bring home.
Towards the day, we went to this amazing museum itself. It's called the Digital Art Museum.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Team Labs itself, but it just has plenty of just good scenery, and it was digital art, and
It's just it's a huge warehouse room, basically, that's filled with projectors run by computers, and a lot of the stuff you can interact with, which is mind blowing. There's a video that I took of my hand, and I'm holding up on a pillar, and there's water drops running down the wall, and it interacts somehow with your hand. I don't know how they did it, if I'm honest, but the museum itself is amazing. We got so many great pictures, and it's such a cool experience. We would highly recommend it.
It's definitely a picture day inside the museum for sure.
Yeah, make sure you show up with empty SD cards, because you will fill those suckers up when you're here. I know for me, I really liked the wave room.
Yeah, that was a cool room. Then the lily pad room, the light room with the strobe lights moving back and forth was pretty awesome.
They have this huge square room with mirrored floors, and it's got to be about 1,000 of these remote control spotlights, I guess would be the easiest way to describe them, and they're all choreographed together.
Yeah.
So it's like a huge light show dance. When we went into the kid play area upstairs.
Didn't you roll your ankle again?
No, I didn't hurt myself on this one.
Oh, okay.
I did wander off.
Yeah.
You wandered off a little bit, and I wandered off, and
yeah, make sure to be with your travel partner or just your partner in general. You'll get lost.
And it's very dark in here, so it's very hard to find people.
Yeah, and Kevin and I didn't have cell service unless we had our pocket Wi-Fi, so it's definitely
yeah, but it was a good time. And then we moved into, I don't know how you describe it, like an LED rain room, I guess.
Yeah, it was a beautiful room. You can certain rooms you can just sit and just watch just the art.
Spend hours in some of these rooms. Just
I think
watching.
every room pretty much.
Yeah.
But that was Team Labs does a really great job. It's not besides the Digital Art Museum. There's multiple museums in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. We just ended up here.
This was the one that was recommended to us by someone we met in a hostel, so we decided to do this one. But there's a lot of great ones. I know next time we go, we'll probably go to a different one just to take it all in.
Towards the night, I think we met up with one of our old coworkers, and or one of the nights.
Yeah.
There's a lot we missed. We also saw Godzilla itself. There's 2 Godzillas or 3 now.
Oh yeah, that's a funny story. So I think we should share that, Lucky. If you don't know, there's I think it's Shinjuku or Shibuya, there is a giant Godzilla head and arm that are towering over a movie theater and a hotel, and it's really amazing. You walk down the street and you round a corner, and then boom, there's Godzilla with his arm on a building.
Make sure to go all the way up top. Yeah. There is dedicated Godzilla stores itself and a bar. You can interact a little bit with the Godzilla. It shows all the movies, meaning interact. There's a part where
you can touch. It's like a touch sensor somehow in it, and you touch it, and then he'll roar. What did we learn about finding this Godzilla, Lucky? Do you remember?
I think we found the wrong Godzilla.
There are 2 Godzilla statues.
Yeah,
if you type in Godzilla statue in Google Maps, it will default you to a 6-foot-high replica.
Little baby guy. It's near what castle was it again?
It was Tokyo. It was the Tokyo Imperial Palace.
But there was no, and at one point we were there's definitely got to be a big Godzilla, so we searched up the right one.
I'd seen him, and I knew he was there. I just didn't know
where it was.
Remember where he was.
But that's a great experience too. Towards the end of our trip, we went to a little bit of mini malls, shopping districts. We saw a random J-pop.
I think it was in was it Sunshine Mall?
Yeah, they were playing a little show, and that was kind of a random surprise. So
they had everything roped off, and we're just walking. Kevin and Lucky once again just wandering through incredible situations.
And then we just ended up, we went to the Pokemon store, obviously.
Yeah, that's why we were there.
You don't realize we're a bunch of nerds, but that was a cool experience. I mean, if you are definitely a Pokemon Go advocate, that's an awesome place.
Amazing store.
They have little plushies, cards, this little Pokemon game that you can play that's exclusive in Japan. Towards the end, remember that burger experience you had?
Oh, you mean the meatloaf on a bun?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, where was that? That would have been...
Probably Osaka. Or... Yeah. Or it was one of that tech building.
Yeah, we went to there's a lot of really big camera stores, and I'm a huge camera nerd. So, we ended up in a camera store that was 5 stories high, and then it had a mall above it. So So we went through the mall, and me and Lucky had been eating ramen pretty much every day because it was just always so amazing. And we just missed home just a little bit. We're like, well, here's like an American bar restaurant thing. And
I got in trouble at the salad bar. I had to pay extra.
Yeah, but we got, I think, probably the worst burger I've ever had in my life. And I know some of you out there are like, yeah, what did you expect? And, well, I didn't expect meatloaf on a bun.
Yeah, I always go big or go home. So I ended up getting the biggest burger. Probably ate like 3/4 of it, and I was like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I've never seen you not finish a meal, Lucky.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was bad for you because you just you gave up.
Yeah.
You gave up mid eating it. But yeah, that was fun though too. That was a good experience.
The only probably downfall we didn't like was the Monster Kawaii Cafe. Disappointing to me.
They really set their expectations, I think, pretty high of like their marketing material. And when you really show up there, it's pretty lackluster. The food was really expensive. We prepaid for tickets, so we got like a small drink, I think, and then we got these little test tube drinks.
Yeah, we ordered them, and it was just so overpriced. I mean, for us, like, we can go even back to the Robot Cafe. You go to this private room where this robot plays like music, and it's like an open bar, and then you get into the showroom. They're offering beers, so that was a better experience for us.
Definitely.
It was a lot cheaper itself because you can book in advance. Obviously, book in advance for that show.
I think we both really recommended that.
Yeah,
that was like one of our first days in Tokyo, and it really kicked our trip off with like a really high note.
I think both our minds were blown. We were so confused walking out. That was definitely a great experience.
Oh, incredible experience. But yeah, the Kawaii Monster was just a little lackluster.
Yeah.
I think the show was like 3 or 4 songs. I think it was like $20.
Under 20 minutes of show too, so.
Yeah, it was really, and yeah, it was just not a fan for sure.
We definitely forgot is make sure to go to 7-Eleven in Tokyo. It's for sure like the healthiest 7-Eleven you'll ever be.
We have to talk about the food.
Yeah. Food wise, I think we were blessed. I mean, Kevin and I, my favorite parts is obviously all the Japanese food, but going to 7-Eleven was awesome.
Yeah, if you do have the experience while you're in Japan, we do recommend Larson's, the 7-Eleven. It's something else there, but any of those, like what we would consider here in the US to be less than great markets, their food is incredible. It's all fresh. I think Lucky they would like microwave your meals for you.
Yep.
And they were amazing. I think we ate almost every morning. We had breakfast from a 7-Eleven or a Larson's or one of those market stores.
I would lose my cigarettes every day, so. That was
Lucky would smoke
me.
1 or 2 cigarettes and then lose the entire pack.
So that was a downfall. Keep your cigarettes in your pocket, I guess, in a sense. But we had ramen was really good, and we got to experience good curry. Sushi was bomb.
Amazing. Incredible. It's ruined me for sushi here at home, for sure. Like, I just don't enjoy sushi the same way anymore.
We didn't get to go to a yakitori house, but overall, Japan was amazing. It was pretty much speechless. I've traveled a lot, and Kevin has traveled a lot, but for my travel experience, Japan has blown me away.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was probably my favorite place that I've ever been. Yeah, and I think on ours, for next time, I think something that we really took away is maybe not over planning, because we really planned everything roughly in a day, or down to a day that we were gonna do. I had a whole Google map, and I would draw blocks of we can do these things roughly in a day, and then I don't know, 3 or 4 days in, we're like, okay, we're gonna start cutting things that we don't care about as much. When you're planning ahead, you're really excited, so you're maybe overbooking. You're really what can we do? We can do all of these things in a day, and you can't if you overbook yourself.
The trip kind of defeated me at one point where I was just I'm done walking.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Kevin said, plan well.
And good walking shoes. That really helps. I think our shoes did okay. I think about halfway through, it did get a little more rough as they started to deteriorate. We did put a lot of miles on these shoes, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm excited to go back soon.
Updates with us. We haven't been posting a lot of videos lately because Kevin has moved to the Bay Area. I live all the way in San Francisco, so...
nope, you don't live in San Francisco.
Or, I mean, San Diego. I'm so sorry. I've been thinking about... I've been here on the Bay for a day, so I'm a little confused, but...
Yeah, I got a new job, so I transferred up to San Francisco, and me and Lucky used to be based out of San Diego, so that's kind of why you haven't seen as many videos from us recently. We do have a backlog of catalog videos, so we just needed some final touchings, and now that Lucky's here for a little bit, we're gonna hopefully finish these all up so we can start posting again for a while.
You'll get definitely more updates when we start traveling again.
Sweet. So that's gonna be it for us tonight. Thank you guys for all joining in. We're really excited for what the future holds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Travel Nuggets signing out for Japan.
Bye.
Bye.